Welcome back to The Big Idea. We are, of course, on the roadmap to your American dream. And right now, I want to get into that, something that is key to going after your dream. You can never fear the odds. Listen to that. No matter what you're going to do, anything that leads to success, big-time success, will involve you going against big odds. That's the deal. And the man of the hour to teach you about that is one of the great poker players of our time.
Chris Moneymaker has a habit of challenging the odds. In 2003, he took a chance with a $40 entrance fee and some money scrounged from his friends to go to Vegas and play in the World Series of Poker. And this dark horse won it all, $2.5 million in prize money. But Chris Moneymaker did more than rake in the chips. His Against the Odds Poker Championship helped launch the poker boom and make this game a national television obsession.
Chris Moneymaker, 2003 World Series of Poker champion. How are you, big guy?
Good, how you doing?
I don't even say big guy anymore. It looks like you lost about 40 pounds.
Yeah, it's good. I got into a weight loss bet, and that's the best way to lose weight is to gamble on it. You know, I'm a gambler. What do you do?
You are a gambler. You know, you are the American dream because your story is a guy who, was on the brink, said, what the hell? I'm going for it, and pretty much was busted. Ended up not only winning $2.5 million, turning your own life around and really inventing almost a sport. So take it back to the moment in time where you were working for Deloitte and Touche and what your life was like then.
Back then, I had about $8,000 in credit card debt. I just bought a house and couldn't afford it. Had 2 car payments, couldn't afford.
So like a lot of other people running around this country right now.
Yeah, just way over my head in debt. I play in a $40 tournament, and I think I'm playing for cash. I'm playing for a seat to the World Series of Poker. I didn't realize it at the time. So I win that tournament. I play in a tournament the next week, which is the one to get into the World Series.
This is online still.
This is online still. And 4th place in the tournament was $8,000. Well, I'm thinking that pays off my credit card debt. So I try to strike a deal on the final table when I'm the big chip leader to get that $8,000. But no one would strike a deal, so I said, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go for the seat. And I get the seat to the World Series of Poker. I go out there. I've never played in a live
Let's stop
tournament.
here. So right now, you're a guy, you're $8,000 in debt, you're kind of out of work. You've been playing some poker online, and now you got a seat in the big house, which is how many guys playing?
When I won, it was 839 people playing in the big one.
Okay, 840 people. So the odds at this point, 840 to 1 against you.
Probably more than that, seeing how they're all professional
Well, that's
players.
what I was going to get to. But the real odds were, as you got in, tell me, you sat down at the table, and you noticed guys wearing all kinds of goofy T-shirts.
You know, you sit down at the table, and you get half the guys that are wearing, like you said, goofy T-shirts trying to get attention, and then you have the other half of guys that are older guys that are real serious, and they look like they want to take you out back and mug you. And so you're sitting down with this strange group of guys. It's just it's a very unique group, which now it's changed. It's everyday America playing. But back then, I mean, it was an older crowd, and I was a young guy.
And so here, I want to point this out. Talk about against the odds, and this is obviously literally in poker, but here is a man who now has never played in a live tournament, and you're playing against 850, a lot of them pros. And your story is relevant. Forget that it's poker, but I believe in any situation, in any business endeavor, it's always stacked against you. And you can never fearful, oh, that guy has more experience, or that guy, somehow you were able to put the blinders on.
Yeah, you know, when I sat down, that was going through my head. These guys have more experience than me. But then I started realizing, we both get 2 cards. You get 2 cards, I get 2 cards. You're just outplaying me. I can't let that happen. I got to play my cards like a professional would. I got to think like they would, and I can't get outplayed. And that's just, I was not going to let myself get outplayed. And that's what I did for 6 days. Any
tip, before we get back to the tournament and your career, any tips for anybody out there who basically, let's say, I don't know, they're going into a sales pitch and they're pitching against other people and have tons more experience, or you're competing and you're the guy with the least experience. Anything how to kind of help people alleviate all that, oh my God, the odds are against me, I can't do this. I mean, how'd you kind of get past that?
I just trusted myself. I mean, you know, I knew I was a good player. And if you're a salesman, you know you're a good salesman. That's what you do for a living. Trust yourself, follow your instincts. I mean, I went with my gut instinct the entire tournament. I mean, if I felt like someone was bluffing, I went with it. And, you know, it might have been the wrong play at the time, but it worked out this time. And so I feel you should always follow your gut instinct and trust yourself, because at the end of the day, I mean, you're really the only person you have that's really going to stand up for yourself. I mean, you have to make it yourself.
Take me through the most, for you, the crunch moment that you just kind of remember and always relive in your head?
Well, the crunch moment for me is obviously the bluff that I pulled on Sammy Farhad when we were heads up. What a lot of people don't know is we went to the bathroom and talked about making a deal. And
what do you mean? Well, what does that mean?
That means when you get down heads up, first place is $2.5 million, second place is $1.3 million. Well, I wanted to put the money together and split it down the middle.
Each take $2 million, right?
Each take the $2 million and play for the bracelet. I had three times as many chips as he did at the time.
And you were going to make that deal?
And I was going to make that deal because I wanted to walk away. I was happy walking away with the $2 million instead of the two and a half or 1.8, whatever it came out to be. And I was happy with that deal. I'd worked so hard. I just wanted to walk away with this money. And he was saying that he's a better player, so he should get just a little bit more.
And you had 3 chips more than that?
I had 3 times more chips. And I'm like, man, you're crazy. There's no way I'm going to make that deal. We'll just play it out. And I used that discussion when we talked about it when I pulled off the big bluff. If he thinks he's that much better player than me, I got to put him in a situation where he has to call off all his chips. And in a situation I know he doesn't have a hand, he can do that. And I put him to a decision for all his chips. And I thought I had him. There's no way he was going to call. And as he's sitting there, he goes, "You must have missed your flush." And I just think in the back of my head, oh, shoot, he got me. And I think he's going to call at this point. And he somehow transitions back to folding. And the very next hand, I bust him out of the tournament. But, I mean, I was sitting there for literally, he was sitting there for about 2 minutes. And you don't think 2 minutes is very long.
And that must have been 2 hours.
It was 2 days. It was miserable.
Do you remember going through your mind in that 2 minutes, what you were saying to yourself to try and either keep yourself from giving a tell or what? Take me inside Moneymaker's mind for that 120 seconds, which was really like 10 hours.
Yeah, for that 10 hours I was sitting there. I remember Amir Vahidi earlier in the day had made a comment to Sam when he was bluffing, and Sam insta-called. So I'm just like, whatever he says, don't say a word, don't move a muscle, shut your eyes and go to sleep. So I shut my eyes behind my glasses, and I just tried.
Your eyes were shut behind the glasses?
My eyes were shut, and I was trying to go to sleep. I was doing everything in my power just to sit still, not breathe too heavy, not breathe too light. Just don't give off anything that's going to make this guy call. Just hush.
I love it. Okay, we got to take a break. I love it. Obviously, the story we all know. When we come back, something this guy can teach you better than just about anyone in the world. He's going to give you a pro's lesson in calculating odds on the fly while playing poker. Don't go anywhere.
Next, Chris Moneymaker teaches you to really calculate the odds in Texas Hold'em and rake in the cash. It's easier than you think. And later, a viewer